A sketch of one day may perhaps explain the state of things, offer some excuse for the unhappy woman, and give a hint to the autograph fiend now rampant in the land, for it is a true tale.
There ought to be a law to protect unfortunate authors,
said Mrs. Joe one morning soon after Emil's arrival, when the mail brought her an unusually large and varied assortment of letters.
To me it is more vital subject than international copyright, for time is money, peace is health, and I lose both with no return but less respect for my fellow creatures and a wild desire to fly into the wilderness, since I cannot shut my doors even in free America.
Lion hunters are awful when in search of their prey. If they could change places for a while, it would do them good, and they'd see what bores they were when they do themselves the honor of calling to express their admiration of our charming work,"
quoted Ted, with a bow to his parent, now frowning over 12 requests for autographs.
I have made up my mind on one point,
said Mrs. Joe with great firmness.
I will not answer this kind of letter. I've sent at least 6 to this boy, and he probably sells them. This girl writes from a seminary, and if I send her one, all the other girls will at once write for more. I'll begin by saying they know they intrude, and that I am of course annoyed by these requests, but they venture to ask because I like boys, or they like the books, or it is only one. Emerson and Whittier put these things in the wastepaper basket, and though only a literary nursemaid who provides moral pap for the young, I will follow their illustrious example, for I shall have no time to eat or sleep if I try to satisfy these dear unreasonable children.
And Mrs. Joe swept away the entire batch with a sigh of relief.
I'll open the others and let you eat your breakfast in peace, Liebmutter,
said Rob, who often acted as her secretary.
Here's one from the south.
And breaking an imposing seal, he read,
Madam, as it has pleased heaven to bless your efforts with a large fortune, I feel no hesitation in asking you to supply funds to purchase a new communion service for our church. To whatever denomination you belong, you will of course respond with liberality to such a request. Respectfully yours, Mrs. X. Y. Xavier.
Send a civil refusal, dear. All I have to give must go to feed and clothe the poor at my gates. That is my thank-offering for success. Go on,
answered his mother with a grateful glance about her happy home.
A literary youth of 18 proposes that you put your name to a novel he has written, and after the first edition, your name is to be taken off and his put on. There's a cool proposal for you. I guess you wouldn't agree to that, in spite of your soft-heartedness towards most of the young scribblers.
Couldn't be done. Tell him so kindly, and don't let him send the manuscript. I have 7 on hand now and barely time to read my own,
said Mrs. Joe, pensively fishing a small letter out of the slop bowl and opening it with care, because the downhill address suggested that a child wrote it.
I will answer this myself. A little sick girl wants a book, and she shall have it. But I can't write sequels to all the rest to please her. I should never come to an end if I tried to suit these voracious little Oliver Twists, clamoring for more. What next, Robin?
This is short and sweet. Dear Mrs. Bhaer, I'm now going to give you my opinion of your works. I've read them all many times and call them first-rate. Please go ahead. Your admirer, Billy Babcock.
Now that is what I like. Billy is a man of sense and a critic worth having, since he had read my works many times before expressing his opinion. He asks for no answer, so send my thanks and regards.
Here's a lady in England with 7 girls, and she wishes to know your views upon education. Also, what careers they shall follow, the oldest being 12. Don't wonder she's worried,
laughed Rob.
I'll try to answer it, but as I have no girls, my opinion isn't worth much, and will probably shock her, as I shall tell her to let them run and play and build up good stout bodies before she talks about careers.